All right, you guys, this is Rosie. So we are doing a 10-day. You can see that even just me talking, not even to her, really excites her. She has a hard time with when she's being pet. She's just super amped. Any talking amps her up. So this is a really good example of a dog where you want to be careful with when you are giving attention and affection, touching her, talking to her, anything like that. Because what you pet is what you get with this type of dog. Her brain is kind of firing off every second. So she's really trying to figure out, like, how do I unlock this person's attention and petting and affection, all of the things. And it's only when she's like this, when she is totally calm. If I even inch to her and she starts shooting up at me, I stop immediately. I am stepping on the leash to puppy park her, so she can't go anywhere. She can't reach my face. She can't jump all over and scratch and all that. So I'm just stepping on the slip lead here. It is working pretty well. This whole thing probably took just a few minutes, just patience, right? And then really being aware of your energy. So that's how she's gonna feed off of her person. This is really good one-on-one work to do too. So just kind of setting the expectation up of how to work with me, okay? Good girl. Good girl. Now I can try to talk to her a bit and she's not flying up, and I love that. And we might see some regression in it, you know? It's a lot of back and forth with this type of stuff. Go. Good. This is a lot better than before. Oh, sure, I'll take that. Let's see. I back off. She's going back into this state a lot faster now. Much better. So you gotta have to think about, like, what kind of dog are you creating, okay? Because this stuff doesn't go away. It might like dwindle down a bit, but for a lot of dogs, this is who they become, and they are adults like this. And then before you know it, everyone's like, oh shoot, we don't want to go over to their house because this, okay? Even though she's so cute and adorable, but it can put people off, right? Like how kind of intense they can be sometimes. There we go, much better. Much better. And she's a puppy, you know, she's young, but we want to set her up for life. Good job. Good girl. Good. Good. Free. Good girl. Ah, no. 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 Kennel. Good. Free. All right, so it helps speed things up because she was not caring about the slip leash correction. We are using the prong collar. We're also gonna use some treats. So I'm gonna already start just testing her with me being very excited, my voice excited, seeing if she will jump, okay? I already corrected it. I am reinforcing her by choosing anything else but jumping. So when she doesn't jump, she gets a treat, she gets a pet, any of that stuff. So realistic, okay? All right, let's see. Hi, good girl. Yeah, good girl. Yes, good job. So I like doing that because that's how most people are going to talk to the dog. Very excited and all that. It's really hard for them to be calm in those other videos I made. That's what you can do with her, which is excellent, and you should do that. Good girl. But with guests and things, don't expect them to do that. You know, that's really impossible. So this kind of stuff, already corrected it with the prong collar, reinforcing her for better behavior. Again, reinforcement is a pet at the right time, so not that, right? We don't want a pet all that frantic pushing into me. Good, there we go, just like this, or a treat, okay, at the right time too. Hey, good girl. Hey, good girl. Good job, yes. So she doesn't have to sit, she doesn't have to down, but she's choosing to do those two things, which is great, so I'm just rewarding it. Okay, hi, yes, good girl. You're so smart. Hey, Rosie. Hey, Rosie. Good job, yes. So let me try to do an example here. Rosie, kennel. Good. Good. Up. Kennel. Good. Free. Good girl. Good girl. Wow. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Oh my goodness, who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? Good. Okay, so we are working on no jumping and all that. Excitement from me and her learning jumping is off limits, but anything else gets me paid. Otherwise, she gets a correction if she jumps. So consistency with that, very clear. Kennel command. So to prevent a dog who they kind of just like give you the middle finger when they don't want to go in the kennel, and it's because maybe we're only putting her away at certain times and she's going to be in there for quite a bit of time. So instead, I make it a game to go in, right? We're like, hey, you're not going in there for a while. We're actually just going to do this a few times. You get paid, but I also have the leash and the necessary gear, so it could be the prong collar, it could be the slip lead. So if you do ignore me, I could make it happen. So it becomes non-negotiable, right? You don't want her to negotiate with you, right? This is a command. We're not asking you to do it. We're telling you to do it, okay? But that can be in a very neutral tone. It could be in a happy tone. It could be in a stern tone. Practice all your different tones, and I'll show you that in just a second, because you never know how you're gonna sound, but you want her to understand she could do it all. They don't learn the word, they learn the tone, okay? So my example of this is the word sit and the word shit, right? So it sounds very, very similar, different words. They don't know the word, they know the tone, all right? So, hey, good girl. Kennel. So I'll give her a chance to do it, no leash pressure, good. When she does it, I can mark her good and pay her in the kennel a few times, so good, and feed her. Now, this part's important too. You want her to stay in there and wait until you say free. It's okay for you to say stay or wait if that helps you. For me, the word kennel is implied to stay in there until we say free. But it's okay if you say wait or stay, it's fine. I just don't want you doing stay, wait, right? Too many times, okay? Free. Good girl, good girl. So let's see if we'll get an example of her refusing. If she refuses, then I'm just gonna add some leash pressure towards the kennel. Keep it steady, right? Just gentle and steady. If she fights you on it, don't let go of that pressure, or she'll learn that fighting you is what gets that pressure off. So we want her to follow pressure, all right, and what that might look like. Kennel. Good. Free. So this isn't a bribe anymore, like with the treats, you know, sometimes people ask me that. This is more of payment, right? It's paying you for good behavior, so behavior repeats. This, like I said, is here because if you do decide to ignore, I don't want it repeated that you know ignoring is available to you, okay? So let's try this again. Rosie, kennel. Good. I kind of notice how I'm positioning myself. Good. Right now, for her to understand, free, where to go. Like sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm here. I'm pretty close to it right now. Sending the dog to the kennel at a distance is a whole nother ball game, right? It can be done, right? But play this game with her. Just use her dinner, use treats, whatever you want to do. Hey, good girl. So I'll help her out by coming closer. Kennel. Pointing with my other arm, and I'm kind of positioned differently. Good. Good. Free. You're free. Good job. Good girl. Good girl. Good job. Good girl. Hi. Hi. You're doing so good. Look, she's like, I'm good. No jumping, and I'll go right in there. That is much more reinforcing. So, free. You can kind of think about this too, what we're doing right now. The dog is figuring out what is reinforcing right now. Is it jumping all over you and getting you to react and do all of that, and you wasting your corrections because they're not effective? That would mean you're saying no and like pushing, shoving, and all that, but she thinks it's a game, which we know she has done at the evaluation lesson. So this instead, she's like, none of that's reinforcing anymore. In fact, there's a correction there, and there's always going to be a correction there if needed. So it's effective. This is more fun. This is what I want to do instead, is kind of what her brain is starting to go to, which is really, really good. Okay, good girl. Kennel. Kind of neutral tone is what I was doing. I'll do a stern tone. Hey, good girl. Kennel. See how she hesitated for a second? Good. Good. Free. Rosie. Kennel. Good. Rosie. Kennel. Good. So practice different tones, neutral, happy, stern, right? So she really hears you. Free, and she knows that it's all the same. This, right? This one. No. No. Okay, so that right there, we're starting to make our no effective today, where it's followed with a consequence, and it was with the prong collar a bit ago. So now she's kind of understanding, like, okay, that's associated with a correction. If she were to ignore that, then I would have to figure out some way to offer a correction, and it just comes in many, many different forms. But basically, like, just because I'm talking doesn't mean you need to bark over me. It's like kids who talk over their parents and they're screaming at their guests and trying to talk over them. It can be really, really, in human world, rude, but dogs too, they're like, well, I could just talk over you and it's whatever. So not what you want, okay? You want her to respect your no mark. And so that comes with practicing with all of this outside of the kennel too, okay? But anyway, putting gear on, okay? So we can have her in there. We could put the gear on while she's in there for a lot of impulse control practice, setting the tone for, hey, you can't just come out of here like a bull, right? You have to be really neutral, and that is what gets you out of the kennel. So all birds and stones at the same time, right? Let me put gear on you in a calm way. You don't want the frantic dog who's going to give you a hard time with putting gear on, because it just gets worse with time. And so basically, let me open this door. You don't have to move. If you start moving, I shut it. Even that, like, sitting up, it's kind of just a sign like she's getting a bit excited, a bit aroused. She's been pretty good sometimes about laying back down. So I don't want to give commands right now. I want her to think about it all and do it herself. If I were to say sit or down right now, she didn't do it, I would have to find a way to make it happen, right? That's with the leash pressure, which we're working on. So for me, I'm like, I'm not even going to waste my command because I can't enforce it right now. So I'm just going to wait for her to do that. And if I come close and she shoots up, then I'll just back off again. It's much better. I got it on. She sat up. It's not bad. Like, she's okay, but sometimes, like, it can lead to a bit of that arousal, you know? So I just kind of watch for that when they're in a down and they shoot back up to a sit. See what they do next, right? She went paw at it, bark. I'm like, okay, you're not coming out with that mindset. Good. This you could mark and reward if you wanted to, right? You could feed her a little treat for behaving like this. So now it's not a bribe, right, with the food. It's payment for good behavior. So You can use food incorrectly. You can use affection incorrectly. All of that. Verbal praise can be used incorrectly. Okay, so we just have to be aware with this dog, when are we doing what? Okay, good. And also, I think it's helpful, like while we're training, I'm really not talking too much to her in this moment. I'm talking to you guys, but I wouldn't be talking to her like at all, you know. While we're working on jumping and all that arousal and stuff, and I have the gear on and we're out here doing things and I have better leverage, if she were to try to jump while I'm testing her, I'm like that, then I would offer correction there. But right now, we're just chilling. Feel the vibe, feel the energy, copy me, okay? So that's kind of what we're doing right now. She's got to test your patience, for sure. Good. Good. Now here's what we're going to do next. When she comes out of this kennel, she might shoot right into my space. That's a friendly dog, you know, she means well, but it can be starting to get her into a high state of arousal, right? So I want this dog to learn, we humans invite you into our space. If we have not invited you, you don't just come in and claim it for yourself, okay? That is not true for all dogs, but I think just because you guys are on your way to having a baby, and because of who she naturally is, I think that will be a really good thing for y'all. So I'm going to show you that in just a second, okay? Free. So kind of moving her with the leash for a second, moving her with the leash. There you go. Good. And I could pay her for that with the treat. I could pay her with a little pet. It's basically like, I'm going to come to you to pet you. If I invite you in my space, now you can get all over me and stuff. It's fine. Good. The good mark tells her I'm coming to her, so don't move, right? You saw me give those treats to her directly. Same with the pet. Like, I'm coming to you to pet. And if I stop petting, it's not an invite to come back into my space. She's doing really good. 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 So now I'm going to have her go back to the kennel, and I'll give her a treat in there because we want her to think it's really valuable to get in there. Again, not bribing, okay? Good girl. Kennel. Gentle pull. Good. Good. Free.